Is this it? Am I on now?
Is he on now?
I think this is right.
Yep,
But
you're live now,
all right,
and then you'll get questions will come in around the on the right hand side, and you
perfect.
can scroll up and down to look back at questions. But you're good to go there now.
Yeah, you're also live. I got you on speakerphone, so you're just
Yeah,
getting
there you
blasted
go.
live.
That's double content for one price.
Everyone's saying tell Sean to shut up, so I'm gonna hang up on
Oh
you.
yeah, see ya. Bye.
All right, I'm live. What's up, guys? Jeff said yes. Aaron said Plouffe. What's up, Aaron and Jeff? I don't really know what's going on. What day is it? Saturday, right? Yep. Garrett, I'm doing well. I'm heating my pool right now. You guys probably don't want to hear that. I don't know what the weather's like, but it's going to be a little chilly day today, about 60, I think. So a little cooler, so I'm heating the pool up. A lot of people joining. And Jeremy is asking me a question. I don't really know what's going on here. Sean hit me up, asked if I wanted to come on. I said yes, because Sean's a good dude. So I'm kind of relying on you guys to, like, you know, show me the way. I saw Marnie did it. I saw Cuddy do it. So Jeremy says, how are you keeping busy this quarantine? Honestly, it really hasn't affected me a lot. Like, I stayed home a ton. And now my kids are both home, so that takes up a lot of my time. But doing a bunch of stuff in the baseball media world, and that, to be honest with you, we've been really kind of going hard because people are home, and they kind of miss baseball, so we're trying to help with that. We've been able to interview a ton of guys because they're all home too, so it's really doing that and being a dad, taking walks every day. A lot of good stuff. Thanks for that. Excuse me. Thanks for that question. What else we got? Okay, here they start coming in now. All right. Jenny, hello. How are you doing? Nice to see you virtually, digitally, whatever this is called. How are your kids doing? They're doing great. They are having a great time. They have been much better than I thought they would be during this whole thing. But we have a pretty good setup here. So they have a pool and a swing set and all that stuff in our backyard. So they're kind of just like, it feels like summer break, I think, for them. I think the main thing is they're all just missing their kids or their friends. Sorry. Adam, what was your favorite big league moment, most memorable? I mean, I always tell people this, and unfortunately, my mom's trying to FaceTime me right now. I gotta decline her. Okay, sorry guys. Favorite big league moment. I tell people this all the time, and I wish I got to experience it more. I'm sure you guys do too. Was clinching the division in 2010. Even though I was like a scrub and didn't play much, it was still amazing to be a part of that. So I know 2017 got to do it. 2019 you guys got to do it, which is really cool. So I'm happy for all the guys. Favorite game in a Twins uniform? I don't know, man. It's hard to top when you clinch, but at the same time, we kind of did that early and then waited around to party. So there was a couple games, man, like in 2006, whenever Dozier hit all those homers, he hit a walk-off homer one game, and we went crazy. That was so much fun, and I was like talking crap to Mike Pelfrey in the dugout, and it's kind of a whole bigger story behind that, but that was one of the most fun moments at Target Field for me. My debut is obviously also cool. Oh man, I gotta scroll down for these questions. They're coming in hot. All right. Nate, what's up, dude? He's asking me how awesome was it to throw a no-hitter as a 14-year-old. I mean, honestly, don't even remember how I felt. At that point, I was a freshman, first game ever playing varsity, and our coach told me I was going to pitch. I went out there and pitched, and we won, and I didn't give up any hits. It was kind of crazy, and it was, when you're a kid, high school is a big deal. Each level you move up, they all become big deals, and then you get there, and it's pretty cool. So that was fun. I don't know if I should go through all of these or just pick the choice ones. A lot of memory stuff here. Astros comments. Now you can save that. That's documented very well, all my feelings. Check out John Boy Media. We talked about that a ton. I don't love it. Spoiler alert. How many home runs off Phil Hughes? I think everybody knows that if they follow me on social media. I've hit 2 off him and 10 at bats. My bad. My 4-year-old Brody is watching right now. Any advice for a future baseball player? I play a bunch of sports, dude, and have fun. Like, play all the sports. Play soccer, basketball, football. We just had Jason Kipnis on our podcast, and he was talking about how he thinks that's important because he developed different skills from each sport and then was able to bring them into baseball. So you see a lot of times guys will develop their footwork in basketball or soccer and, probably physical strength in football and route running abilities. When you watch Byron Buxton in the outfield, he was a receiver. So you can see where he gets his route running abilities from, and I think that helps a lot. So just have fun, though. That's all that really matters. All right. Jess Wilker's asking me what my most embarrassing moment as a pro was. I've had a ton, man. The game will humble you. So I'll give 2 that I think are kind of that stick out. One was tripping over the mound at Oakland. That was not fun. Not the first guy to do it, probably not the last guy, but it's definitely embarrassing when you just fall when you're running full speed in front of everybody, and then you're on SportsCenter and whatnot. So I'll do that, and then one time Yu Darvish threw me this like crazy ephus curveball, and I swung so early. It was really embarrassing. That one, that video gets sent to me all the time, which is, thanks guys. See Gash is in the house. What's up, Greg? How are you, buddy? Career batting average against Phil, 300. Not a big deal. Let's see. All right, Jenny's got a lot of questions here. What are some things you would talk about with other players when you were on base or when they were on base and you were playing third? It depends. Depends who it was. If it was some guy I didn't really know, I'd just be like, hey, man, what's up? How's the fam? Small talk like that. Guys I knew, it'd be a little bit more fun. Maybe I would say, hey, where we're going to dinner. Let's go grab a beer after the game, whatnot. It just kind of depends who it is. A lot of guys I would just not even talk to them because I didn't like them, but that's not true. Any interest in coaching or media side of baseball? Josh, you missed earlier when I was talking about that's kind of what I'm doing now. So I'm in the media side now. I was scheduled to do some stuff with Fox Sports North. I believe that's still going to happen. Obviously, that is if there's baseball this year, which I believe there will be. But it's going to be different. It's going to look different for a while. Jeremy's asking me, do I have a pregame meal, a go-to one? I kind of did. I'd switch back and forth. I wanted stuff that was easy for me and light. So I would do like salmon and a little bit of rice before the games. I think that was a pretty good meal for me. Or if I was just kind of like not feeling it or needed something easy, PB&J or PB and honey with bananas, something like easy like that. You don't want to have something like crazy before the game. Please show us and talk about the items behind you on the shelf. I like that. Brian, thank you for that. And then Jeremy is asking me about my most cherished piece of memorabilia, so that's kind of a nice little segue. I don't have all my stuff here. This is kind of just like my studio backdrop. So, but I did bring some stuff out. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you probably see my Mauer glove. Gold glove, obviously. Now, when he gave it to me, it was at the end of, I don't even know what year it was. The last year he caught, and it was at the end of that year, and then it turns out, obviously, he never caught again. So this is one of the last gloves he ever used. Technically, it's not the last glove he ever caught with because, as we all know, in 2018, he caught that last pitch. So technically that's the last one, but this is kind of like the real last one. But don't tell anybody that. I got a Brian Dozier cleat. I kind of liked. I'm getting the camera for you guys. I kind of like weird stuff like this. This is like game used. Like still got like dirt all over it. I didn't even have him sign it. I just think it's cool. I don't know. And Sean asked me to talk about this specifically. This is a ball I got signed by Eddie Vedder, who's the lead singer of Pearl Jam. And all I did was I said, hey, can you sign a baseball? Personalized it to me and drew the wave on it, which is kind of like his thing. So I thought that's really cool. I don't know how many Eddie Vedder signed baseballs there are out there. Plouffe Skywalker right here, just to let people know I wasn't a scrub my whole career. Like sometimes I was good. They don't just give bobbleheads out to anybody. Let's see if I can go up top more. Right there is a Chris Archer giveaway, and I had him sign it, and we like decorated it. That was pretty cool. We did that together. Floyd Mayweather signed glove. I did a his charity basketball game one year, and this is actually a funny story. I'll just talk about that. I was guarding him. Floyd Mayweather is not a big guy. He's pretty small. He's probably like 5'6" or 7", and I was guarding him. And honestly, at the time, I was just like, I was pretty young. I was probably 23 or something, and I like stole the ball from him a few times. And then he started to get like pissed and kind of like started like chest up on me. But it was all in good fun. And then afterwards, I had him sign that glove, which is kind of cool. I don't really know anything about boxing, but it was fun to play that thing. And this is a cool thing. Hold on. And then we'll move on to some other questions. Okay. This is Joe Nathan when he became the all-time Twins save leader. Gave us all this big mug. I'm a big beer guy. I don't ever drink out of it. I think I have before though. But it was cool. He like commemorated it. And it says "Stay thirsty, my friends." Has his autograph etched in. So pretty cool. That's about it. There's some other stuff there, but let's move on to some other questions. Okay. Favorite place to get takeout these days? If I'm doing takeout, I'm doing Asian. I really don't do any other takeout. Maybe Indian. But Korean and Filipino food has kind of been my like go-to right now. I'll still do Thai. Chinese is kind of out for me right now. But Asian, love it. Gash wants to know what my favorite sports fan interaction is, and I'm sure he wants me to say like him and like, you know, all that stuff. But I remember coming back when Sean set up the Plouffe thing when I came back with the A's. That was pretty cool. So I like that. I got to see everybody again. Everyone had those shirts on, which is pretty surreal. You know, don't get to see that too often. Jenna asked me who my favorite baseball player was growing up, and I had two. It was Ozzie Smith and Brett Butler. Ozzie, obviously, everybody knows he's a stud, and it's an easy one. But Brett Butler, more so because he was a Dodger, and I just, for some reason, liked him. Hopefully, like I really hope that some people will like grow up and be like, oh yeah, Plouffe was my favorite player, and then the people will be like, why? And they won't really have a good reason, but hopefully that sticks. Maybe like one or two of you will say that. I don't really collect autographs too much, just kind of guys I played against, but I don't really go out and seek autographs now. All right. When traveling, what could you never leave without? I think a good pair of headphones was huge on the plane, anywhere. The AirPods now are incredible because you could just put them in and then just ignore everybody, which sometimes when you're around in the clubhouse like every day, people, you just don't want to talk to people sometimes. You kind of get over it. So you put the AirPods in, you just act like you're listening. You don't even have to have music on, and you just like act like you're listening to music. So that's a pro tip if anybody ever has to deal with that. One of the toughest pitchers I faced, Max Scherzer, easy. MLB Park, you wish you got to play in. I played in every single one of them except for Dodger Stadium, but I played that in high school. So technically I played in all the stadiums, not the new Braves one. And I think that's it. So I played in them all. They're all beautiful, every single one of them. So I have not seen the platform yet on Netflix. Strangest thing I've ever signed. I don't know. I'm sure I've signed some strange things before. I think I signed like a toaster one time. I don't know. Does he want it back? I don't know what that means. Oh, that must mean my Joe Mauer glove. He does not want it back. And he can't. I mean, sorry, Joe. Love the mug. Best beer I've had lately. That's a good question because, your people's taste buds change over time. The best beer I've had lately is probably this brand called Monkish out here. They do a beer called Foggy Window. It's like a hazy IPA, but they just sometimes when you get into that type of beer, a lot of the flavors can become muddled and it just kind of tastes like it's thrown together. It's not really like sophisticated. When other beers, they really try to like tighten them up. And this one, they do a good job of like subtly balancing. It's obviously a hop forward beer, but it's a late edition, so you get like the hop aroma and taste with all the bitterness. But you need a little bit of bitter backbone, and they do a good job. What else we got? Did you keep anything from the 10,000th home run game you hit? No, I mean, I didn't hit that. Imagine if I hit 10,000 home runs, that'd be awesome. But that was like a team thing, so I didn't really do anything with that. Yes, Harrison Smith, my favorite. Love that. Nice to see you again, Danny. Biggest misconception, people have about you as an athlete or a person. I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty open, so I don't know if there's any misconceptions. I don't know. I'll think about that. I'll come back to it. How many Grand Slams? I had 2 in my career, I think, which was cool. How'd your body adjust going from time zone? Jenny, you are just rifling these questions out. You need to slow down a little bit. To be honest with you, it didn't affect me that much, the time zone travel. I know this might be a sensitive topic, but why do you think the Yankees have the Twins number, especially in the playoffs? So Brian's really trying to stir the pot here. To be honest with you, I don't think they have the Twins number, and I've always said this. I mean, maybe a couple years in a row, like the team will be the same, so that could factor into it. But when you go back like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, doesn't affect this year. I know what happened last year. Wasn't good. But I think it's going to be different every single year. The Yankees are a good team. They always are a good team. They have good players. And, yeah, they've been on a little bit of a run against the Twins. But I think that fans make too much of it. Glenn Perkins ever ship me his beer? No, he doesn't. Glenn, bottle that shit up. Bottle that up and send some out. But we do exchange beer, like not his own personal beer, though. Sorry for the curse word there. It's a family show. All right, do you still keep in touch with any of the guys you play with? I do. In fact, I keep in touch with a lot of them. Glenn being one of them, Phil Hughes, Doge. I mean, a lot of guys. You can go, the list goes on and on. Even a lot of the current players I still talk to, which is really cool. It's a good little fraternity that the Twins have. And I got to see everyone in spring training this year, too, which was cool. And then Jenny is back. If you didn't make a career out of baseball, what would you have been doing? Honestly, I have no idea. If I went to college and then say I didn't make it, I had a scholarship to go to USC, so I would have studied there, and then who knows? I have no idea. I would have figured something out. Best prank you've ever played on a teammate or had played on you. We did, and Glenn was kind of at the forefront of this one, but we pranked Pelfrey into thinking he was giving like a pep talk to his alma mater for like a basketball game. So that he thought he was like on speakerphone to his school. And that school is Wichita State. But he's a big Kansas baseball fan, so he doesn't really care about Wichita State basketball. But we made him think that the team was like really counting on him as an alumni to like pump him up for the March Madness tourney. So he like was giving this speech, and it was hilarious. That we filmed the whole thing. I think you can find it online, but it was just great to see him going because he's the best guy to mess around with. Like one of my favorite teammates. So that was really fun. You gotta watch the video. I can't really do it justice. Still playing guitar. I am. I actually have a guitar right over here. No, I'm not going to play it live. So don't ask that one. Do you believe Verlander that the ball was juiced last year? I do. I don't know whose fault it was, but definitely. Everyone will say that. Nancy's asking me the best career advice and from who? I think Terry Ryan was always the guy that was the most truthful with me, and he would just like call me out and tell me when I was not doing things that weren't good enough to play in the big leagues, and he did that quite often with me. And when you have a guy like that telling you, you better listen. So I always respected guys that just said the truth. Like I didn't need to be sugar coated. Like if I sucked at something, just tell me, and I'm gonna work and try to fix it. All right. Thanks for the signed ball, May 21st in 2013. Hey, you're right. You're welcome. Sean, I don't think you're allowed to ask questions in here, but I'll read it. Favorite Kobe memories? Did I ever get a chance to meet him? I never got a chance to meet him, but I did. His final year playing, my agent, as like a gift, which was really cool, took me and we sat courtside at Staples Center. And, I mean, I'll never forget that. It kind of ruins watching basketball when you get to sit that close. But yeah, he played that game. It was against the Rockets, and he just like went off. I think he had like 30 points that game, and that was kind of, like I said, it was the last year he played, so it didn't happen too often. But so it was a cool game to catch. When you left baseball, what were some of the hardest things to walk away from? I don't know. I was ready, dude. I was ready. I tell people this, I could have continued to play and I could have done the AAA thing and then, I could have gotten called up here and there. But to be honest with you, when you play at the big league level and you're a starter and you kind of have that and you do that for a while, everything else after that, man, just isn't the same. Like even coming off the bench, it's awesome to be in the big leagues, but it just wasn't I just didn't like enjoy it as much as I did the other things. And, it was tough for me. So when I started to get into those roles and I was doing in 2018, I was mostly in AAA. I had a couple months up in the big leagues. It didn't seem worth it. I'd rather be at home and kind of figuring other stuff out and be with my family than be kind of this nomad. The nomad lifestyle was not for me anymore. When you're set, it's cool. But I didn't want to do that anymore with my family. Do I ever homebrew beer? I have, and I feel ashamed saying this. I haven't done it lately at all. I have a beautiful setup, but I don't have the right electrical connection, which is a very simple fix, but I just haven't got around to it. So I drink beer, but the brewing has really stopped for me, and it's kind of upsetting. Big Nate's asking me if I was MLB commissioner, what's the one thing you would change first? I would change concession prices 100%. I don't think it's right for teams to be able to charge like what they charge for concessions. Even Target Field, I don't really know what it is, but I'm sure it's expensive. So I think if you go Google what the Atlanta Falcons have done at their stadium, I think people would enjoy that a lot. Craziest teammate in the clubhouse. Craziest. I don't really know how to define that. Escobar was very all over the place. Obviously having a lot of fun. We would joke with him a lot. Pelfrey, another one. Pelfrey was the guy that would do anything for like money. So a couple funny stories about that. We all went to a dinner at a steakhouse before the year started, and there's probably 20 to 25 guys there, and everyone got a steak, and they all like kind of trimmed the fat off their steak. So we got everyone's fat trimmings. This is disgusting. We got everyone's fat trimmings, put them on a plate, and now this plate it's a pile of fat trimmings like that high, on a big plate. And I said, Pelf, like, let's get some money together, and I want to see you eat that. And I don't know, we got a couple $100 together, and this guy just devoured it. It was so disgusting. Like, I'll never forget that. And I did it without blinking an eye. So he's a good one, man. I tell stories about Pelf all the time because he's funny. On EO, got some new comments. Do you have a favorite minor league park or city that you played in? Man, the minor leagues is not fun. It's not. I love Rochester. I spent a lot of time there, so like the surrounding cities and stuff, like the towns are really cool. So I'll say that was my favorite place to play. I did enjoy my time there, even though it was cold. But favorite park, I don't know. None of them. I mean, Elizabethton is kind of cool because there was a stream right behind it, so we used to go fishing after batting practice. That was kind of cool. I'll say that. Gash is saying prayers for my family and healthcare. I do have a mom and a sister. My mom's a nurse. She's been a nurse for a long time, and my sister actually just graduated from nursing school, so they're kind of expediting that whole process, and she'll be doing her thing soon. So yes, thank you for the prayers. They're both doing well. Favorite Fan HQ Sean memory. I don't know. Sean's just always been super nice to me. I love doing the meet and greets at the shop in the mall, and I think I did one with Willingham one time, and that was a lot of fun. And we did some like photo shoots together. We kind of done a lot together. So Sean's kind of he's kind of always been around like pretty much my whole career there. He was around, and a lot of the guys respected him and did a lot of things with him. So I mean, he's calls me up and gets me on a Saturday morning to do this. So I definitely think fondly of him. Favorite ballpark food growing up. I don't know, man. Nachos, I think. I think you got to go nachos. The hot dog's cool, but I was a nacho guy. Let's see. Favorite. What was a city you liked visiting? New York. I love New York. For a couple days. But there's nothing like New York. It's its own like thing. Who was the most underrated MLB player you shared the field with? Underrated. I don't know how to even to describe that. I don't know. I think Eduardo Escobar. I don't think he's really underrated anymore, but while he was playing with the Twins, he was really underrated. But he got paid now. Good for him. Do you play fantasy baseball at all? I do not. What is Mike Pelfrey up to these days? I called him a while ago, and I think it had something to do with like Kansas basketball. Left a message. He called me back, left a message, but then this whole thing happened, and I haven't spoken to him. But I think he's just at home with the kids. I know he was helping coach somewhere, maybe at Wichita State. He was helping coach there, I think so. I'm not sure. And I got a couple minutes left. Let me see real quick. Then I got to get back to being a dad. I can hear my kids playing outside too. All right. Let me do 2 more questions or 3 more. I'll do 3 more questions. My favorite numbers 3. So, did you enjoy the Hang with the Majors events at Toby Keith's? Man, that's a blast from the past. I did. That was a lot of fun. I was still such like a young scrub at the time. Like I wasn't excited to do anything. If people wanted to come and like see me because I played baseball, that was like a crazy thing for me to wrap my head around. So I was like all about it. But those were good times. I like this one. What kind of music do you like to listen to? I like everything, but I'm more of like a guitar guy. And I don't know. I've been on a huge like old school Sublime kick lately. But I like just like a good guitar, and usually it's not like a metal. It's more like melodic and folky. I don't even know really where that came from, but it's... So, some Zeppelin stuff, some of the softer Zeppelin stuff I love. I also would just like put a Pink Floyd album out or on and just jam to that. So, a lot of rock stuff. Let's do one more. I'm going to find one good question, and then you guys can go on your day. All right, last one. When and for what reason would you see yourself returning to Minnesota at any point in the future? Well, before all this was going down, I was coming out for Morneau's, was it Hall of Fame or I think it's the Hall of Fame. So I was coming out for Morneau's thing. I got invited to play in the Twins Legends game, which was really cool, and maybe because nobody else wanted to do it, but I got invited to that, and I was going to play shortstop, which is really funny. So I was coming out. I'm scheduled to come out a bunch this year and do a lot of things. I still want to be really involved in Minnesota because I had such a great time there. So you mix that with the Fox stuff that I should be doing, and I'll be out there, And if I do spend some time, maybe we'll do this in person. I think it's way cooler. I have headphones on now, and I don't even know why I have headphones on. So because nobody's talking to me, I'm just talking to myself. But yeah, I'll be around, man. That's kind of it for today. I appreciate you guys hanging. And yeah, follow my social pages. Or don't, whatever. If you want to follow me. We have good times. Follow Talking Baseball. That's the pod. If you guys want to like check out some stuff I'm doing, Talking Baseball is the podcast. There's a YouTube channel, all that good stuff. And yeah. Had a lot of fun today. We'll do it again. Sean will hit me up and we'll do this again. So